Hi everybody, welcome back to SV Blown Away. In this week's episode, we help to recover a sunken migrant boat. But before then, a quick recap on what happened last week. We are now leaving the Aegean, sailing south towards Cape Maleas, and back to the Ionion to do some boat maintenance. We are Natalie, Ian and Nelson, and we are living a life less ordinary. You join us in Port Cagio, which is where we spent the night. We're up early, we're trying to outrun the storm. We can't hang around, we are out of here. Not a bad way to spend your morning. This guy's over here fishing already. We're bouncy out here though. The Melteme does not want to give up. So we're on the Capes. We're heading around the bottom of the Capes to go north again back to the Ionion to make some repairs. What are you two doing? Off to see the sunset? There's 40 knots of wind in the forecast. Not a bad sunset to go see. And we don't want anything to do with that. So we are running ahead of it to get around the bottom of the Greek Capes and avoid the worst of the wind coming our way. Sadly, we didn't spend a great deal of time in Methone. We did Methone on the way around the coastline. It's an amazing place. Where are you, Natalie?
We are in Kyparitsia.
Again?
Again. Not Kyparitsi, Kyparitsia. It's on the other side of the Peloponnese.
Okay.
Just north of Methone and Pylos. Last time we were here there were loads of turtles swimming around in the harbour here. And yesterday we actually did see a turtle, like right next to the wall that we stood on. So we are wandering into town to A, see if we can find a post office to pay our cruising tax, and B, to see if we can find a supermarket to buy some fruit.
Cool. And this turtle is not going to escape our camera. The storm back there that was affecting the whole of the middle Med isn't supposed to come this far, but we currently have some rain and a bit stormy weather there, which we weren't sure about distance. So I fired up the radar and took a quick look on the radar and I'll show you what we've got. This is our little bit of weather pattern. This is where we're heading. There's a gap between the mainland and the island. So I've placed a electronic bearing line and a variable range marker on that storm just to see which way it's tracking. And you'll see up here we've also got a bit more rainfall as well. So we're just keeping an eye on it. It doesn't affect us at the moment. We're hoping to be in port before it does affect us. But yeah, pretty easy to set up on these radar systems. I quite like this Simrad 4G. I've actually got a commercial radar operator's license for ships and stuff. And this is like a small scale version of what is available on a ship. So yeah, it's a good bit of kit. Having outrun the storm, we've rounded the Capes, so now we have an offshore wind with very little sea state and up to about 15-20 knots, perfect being beach or reaching weather. Here we've left Kyparitsia and we're heading north. Now you know why our ensign's as high up the backstay as it is, because it has to clear that hydrovane. It clears about like an inch where I'm not. We are currently crossing the entrance to the Gulf of Patras, which is over there. So the wind speed is picked up a little bit. We know it was windy up here last night, which is where most of the swell's from. We've got between 15 and 20 knots on the beam, making, where are we at the moment? Between 6.5 and 7 knots. We don't have the mizzen up. The mizzen will probably give us another half a knot, but that's currently still in the bag. Running the big Genoa and our mainsail, no reefs. We're just tanking along at the moment. Such good sailing. This is really good fun. Off in the distance we have Ithaca, which is where we're heading tonight. The reason for going to Ithaca, we've got some laundry that we need to get done, and also there's a supermarket right on the seafront, so it's a convenient place for us to stop. We may get back on the town dock, or it might be that we have to just sit on anchor. Depends how strong this wind is when we get to Ithaca. It is due to drop back off, but at the moment we're not seeing that. Yeah, all good fun. So this is now the problem that we face. Nelson's turned into a little bit of a nervous dog, unfortunately. He never used to be. As he's got older, his eyesight's failing him, and he doesn't like us heeling over at all. So we're currently making 5.5 knots. We were doing closer to 7. We are heeling a bit. And Nelson is scared. Yeah, I know. Doesn't understand, does he? Considering he's been on here all his life, he used to be quite adventurous, quite excited, and he used to, he'd be quite active. Now, as he's got older, no. So we have put back our Atlantic crossing because of Nelson. It's not right for us to expose him to 3 weeks at sea. With him being the weakest crew member, really. That's not right, it's not fair, it's not what he signed up for. As a puppy, he loved it on here, really did. We had great times, but unfortunately now as he gets older, he's struggling with the whole concept of heeling over, and any kind of noise or a bang or a clunk or a rattle in the workshop or a shackle falling down, and he's just running through the boat. So yeah, we're kind of holding back on the Atlantic crossing, and probably next season will be a fairly quiet one travel wise. We might go and visit some of the other islands that we didn't do this time round, possibly. Don't know, we don't really have any plans, we never plan. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, we worked to the weakest crew member, and that currently is Nelson. So was it it's due to rain for an entire week. Yeah, it's not nice out there. Thunder and lightning storms, strong winds, and rain for an entire week. We haven't seen rain since April. This is such a culture shock. This is how it used to be living in Britain. And the reason we are pulling the roof apart over winter is because of this. We've had no rain since April, and the roof's dried out and base is cracked. We've already repaired one side in Italy a couple of years ago, so now we're going to repair the other side. So stay with us for winter.
Today is the 9th of October. October 2021. We are in Meganisi Marina, in Odysseus Marina, and we've been hiding in here because of a big thunderstorm, and we decided to service the engines.
So I've actually put a outboard priming bulb in my fuel system so I can repressurize the fuel filters manually. Just refuel. So you see the fuel level on this one going back up. That's just from priming them off of that fuel bulb. Simple outboard bulb. Get someone close to the top. Tighten the T-bar back down.
And it's just added this bit from the oil vacuum pump.
What are you doing?
We're changing the engine oil on the main engine on BA.
Okay.
So we're using our little siphon pump here to suck the engine oil out, and so far we've got that much out.
Yeah, which is probably close to all of it, I would think.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, good morning. So I took the dog for a walk this morning, only to find that a boat has sunk overnight. We had some seriously heavy rain here yesterday. It's carried on throughout the night. There's a boat over there where the pumps just haven't coped with the amount of rainwater it was dropping on it. And it's sunk and flipped over. So we're going to get the dive gear on and we're going to go over and salvage it with the aid of the marina. Yeah. Coming? You coming with us? Last night was very heavy rain. Very heavy. The worst rain we've seen since we've been in Greece. This thing's petrol engines too, right? Because it's on outboards. Yes.
Καλημέρα.
Last one said I put a lifting bag on it. They've got those lift bags back at the marina, so we can always put one on. So the heaviest part of this boat is obviously the engines. We've pulled the engine covers off, exposed the lifting points of the engines, and we're attaching the airbags to the lifting points of the engine. The strongest point of the boat, it will lift the engines and lift the boat to the surface of the water. So, Nat, tell the story of the boat.
Apparently it was used as a refugee running boat, and it got caught and the Coast Guard impounded it and left it here and left all the hatches open, and obviously it's been raining for the last 24 hours.
Nah, if that line breaks with you climbing on there, you're not going to be popular. Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud. So we used a couple of lift bags to get it to the surface, pulled it into the dockside, held it in position with a forklift, and then we used a couple of big pumps to get the water out. The big one's a good one, huh? And once this Migrant boat was fully floating again, the marina staff took it over towards the dock office, so keep a closer eye on it. Join us again next week when we start some of our upgrades. Hey Nat, do we really need a cooker this big? It doesn't fit in the door. The trouble you get me into. Let's go pick up some wood, she said. Find out what we're building next week on SV Blown Away. What are you doing?
I'm taking the engine wheel out of the engine.
I'll tell you what, why don't you sit up and then take your head completely out of frame and tell me what you were doing?
Because this is really uncomfortable.
We're at Emma's wedding.